Hi, everybody. My name's Kay. You're watching Amidst the Gray. And today, I want to talk about goals. More specifically, why I'm not setting any for 2023. Let's do it. I've been trying to work out how I want to approach this topic because I feel it's a highly divided one as far as perspective goes. Especially this time of year when so much of the content you see is about creating, setting, and determining systems for maintaining goals. I think the first thing I need to say is that I don't think that goals are inherently bad. Goals can be very good. Goals are how things get done a lot of the time. It can be, a motivator or a driver for a person to achieve an objective, manifest a desire or interest that they have been contemplating. Goals are not inherently bad, but like anything else, they can be taken a bit far. I've thought about how many different types of goals that I have set over the years, across topics and practices, just off the top of my head. Eating goals, fasting goals, step goals, hydration goals, spiritual goals, intellectual goals, work goals, creative goals, social goals, reading goals, TV watching goals, movie watching goals, educational and personal development goals, savings goals, spending goals. So many different types of goals. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. What I have been contemplating lately with regard to goal setting is how you can go in with such a good intention to engage in activities and behaviors and habits and practices that will eventually help you achieve an objective. But with all of that comes the trip of the ego and the mind and all of these self-imposed expectations that we often put on ourselves. And then when we do not live up to these self-imposed expectations, we consider ourselves to be failures. Something that has become very clear to me over the past couple of months, really, but the past couple of weeks, especially since I went on Christmas break and I've been home and I just had some time to just contemplate life, is that I let my own mind get in the way. And part of this is from a human design perspective. I'm gonna try really hard to not bring up human design more than necessary, because if a lot of people who might view this might not know or care about human design. But since, diving into my study of human design a little more deeply, I have realized how much and how often in my life I have let my mind rule my life. I've let my mind just take over everything. My mind and my ego trip has hijacked so much of the activities and behaviors that I have engaged in, since, forever. It's conditioning. We all experience conditioning in one form or another. But for me personally, it wasn't until I actually dove into this a little more deeply did I realize how much I've been getting in my own way, just by thinking and feeling that I have to keep up with the societal Joneses, when in all actuality, the majority of what that says I should deliver, I don't care about. And truthfully, when it all comes down to it, and if I were to distill, a handful of things that I care about deeply in my life, most of what is on that societal Joneses list, I don't care about. It's also made me realize how much I have ignored my body. It's another thing, and that's another human design thing. But like I said, I'm just going to kind of not mention that. When I do my, if human design does pique your interest, when I do my video on variable, I've already done my video on authority, and some of that has kind of already been addressed. Similar, kind of what I'm saying here kind of ties into that. But when I do my video on variable, especially, I will refer back to this one. So maybe you can kind of, if you're interested in that, you can come back to this one and sort of see kind of my perspective from that lens. But yeah, bottom line, I have been ignoring my body. Our bodies are highly intelligent, and we do not give them enough credit, and we do not treat them with the respect and attention that they deserve. If I think back in my life to when I've engaged in things, activities, and behaviors that I knew deep down were not good for me, I think about my body's reactions to those things. Man, my digestion would just go completely haywire. I would feel nervous. I would have panic attacks. I would spontaneously cry just for no reason because I was doing things that were not correct for me. Because of this kind of body first sort of contemplation that I've been engaging in, I have just kind of settled in with the fact that 2023 for me, at least at this point, nothing is set in stone though, disclaimer. If I decide, 6 months down the line that there's something that I just want to go after and I'm going to have to set some smart type goals to get there, then I will. But I'm not going into this year with the intention that I need goals, because I don't. I do not need goals. That being said, I will continue to meet deadlines at work for whatever I need to do. I will continue to go to doctor's appointments, and take care of kind of those mundane things as they come up. But I don't necessarily feel I need to set goals for them. If it's work related and it's something that's required, or I feel it could be beneficial for me as far as how I engage with my students, then that is something I will reconsider when that time comes. But I might not even approach it as a goal. I might approach it through a completely different lens. I just decided I don't need goals. I need to listen to my body. But just for funsies, I kind of want to play with the concept of letting life unfold naturally and organically, and just seeing what happens without me feeling that I need to control the outcome. Control is a thing for me. I have some issues with always feeling like I need to be in control of, not necessarily of other people. I really don't want to control other people, but as far as my own stuff is concerned, I really always feel like I need to be on top of that. I'm a Capricorn moon, if that provides any, and Virgo Mars, if that provides any context. But I'm working on seeing what happens if I just let some of that go. And, while I was on break, I watched some old shows and movies, that I love and I've seen a million times, and I know the story and the lines and the characters inside and out. And I was thinking about why do we go back to the same movies and shows over and over and over again? Because in the end, I really don't think it's about the outcome. We know the outcome, to these things that we've seen over and over and over again. We know the outcome. We know what's going to happen. I feel we go back for the story. We go back for the stories of these characters that we love. We go back for the relationships that they build and the experiences that they have. We don't necessarily go back to the end point. Maybe to some extent, but I feel for the most part, we go back for the story. And then I thought about how much I often focus on the end point. I'm a big picture thinker. Okay, I tend to have like a wide perspective and see from multiple different views and lenses. That's just natural for me. And it's not that I want to give that up necessarily. I don't think I could if I tried. It's just a part of who I am. But I'd like to try to be more mindful of what happens as you get to that point. You know, the story of me and my life. And I just decided for 2023 that I would just like to observe the story and the unfolding of my own life rather than try to control every little thing about it and set these parameters for myself that in the end most likely don't even matter. I want to watch and observe the unfolding of my own story this year. And for me, that very much means a body first kind of perspective because my body will tell me what to do. I will bring in human design one more time. For those of you who are familiar with human design and you know a little bit about it, I'm splenic and I'm a quadrite. I'll leave it at that. If you know what that means, then maybe you might know where I'm coming from. Like I said, I will link back to this video when I do those subsequent human design videos later on, just for some context. So like when I'm not at work, and you know, maybe even when I am at work and I have these opportunities to just let things happen, you know, it's like we have a lot of things that we have to kind of keep in check, of course, but there are moments when you know, I can let go a little bit and just see what happens. But and you know, and go from there. But I would like to get to a point that when and when I'm on breaks, kind of I can do that just because I can be home. I can be in my own space. I can be, you know, with people of my choosing. I can engage in activities that I feel like engaging in at the time. I want 2023 to be the year of big ideas. I don't necessarily have to do anything about those ideas. I can just entertain them. And if my authority says you can move with that, then maybe I will. But I don't want to feel like everything that pops into my head I have to act on. I have to do something about it. I don't. I can entertain an idea, a concept, a thought, a feeling without having to do anything about it. And every day when I wake up, at least to some extent during my day, I just want to see and feel and experience that I wonder what's going to happen today. And, you know, and maybe not even that, just be like, I'm going to get up. I wake up. What do I feel like doing? It might be I want to go make a cup of coffee. It might be I just want to lay in bed for a while if it's a weekend or a holiday. It might be I want to take a bath at 5:30 in the morning, which did that this morning. It could be any number of things. When I get home from work, what do I want to do? You know, I'll take care of like dinner stuff and, you know, things that we have to do to, you know, just to like survive. But as far as like free time and, you know, entertaining possibilities of how I might want to fill that time, you know, just what do I feel like doing now? What do I feel like doing in that moment? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I feel like just going and sitting on the couch and being in silence for 5 minutes. That's okay. It's about what matters and is important now. And I really, really want to. That almost sounds like I'm making a goal. I'm not, and it's more of an intention. I don't even know if it's even that. I just want to be. 2023 is going to be a big year for me and my son. I've mentioned this in videos, in my Card of the Year video, In my year ahead reading video, I've mentioned how kind of our lives are going to change this year. So I'm not going to go back into that now. You can watch those videos if you want. But it's going to be a year where a lot of things change. And I want to just experience the change without feeling like I have to control what happens next. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I guess I'm just feeling a need to be a bit more passive and more receptive. I'm feeling like I need to do more listening and less speaking. I'll still make content, of course, but I really, really feel like the people around me and my environment have things to tell me, and I need to just listen. And I thought while I was doing my Techo Kaigi video, and I've gotten so much great feedback on that video, and I appreciate everyone who took the time to watch and comment. I've gotten such great feedback on that video, and I really appreciate it so much. But as I was making that video and I was going through kind of, all of the ideas that I had, I was just thinking, just leave it at that. This is an idea. This is not, you are going to do this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount every single day. With it's no, it's, I just want to keep it at ideas that I am entertaining. And if I feel like engaging with those ideas in any given moment, then and I can enjoy it without it having to be or feel like a chore. But yeah, again, I'm not saying goals are bad. Goals are good. Goals get things done, and they get us to endpoints for things that we would like to see happen in our life. And there is nothing wrong with goals. Goals can be a great thing. I don't feel it's an approach I want to take this year for me personally. Like I said, that could change on a dime. I could wake up tomorrow with some massive flash of inspiration, as far as like a project or something, but I need to like do, and if that happens, then okay. But but I will take that as it comes. I'm not going into this year with the expectation that I need to set goals, because I don't. I do not need to set goals this year. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end this one here because this was very this is an example of me acting on a feeling of spontaneity. Just not set. I did not have a goal to do this video about not setting goals. It's just something that kind of came to me, and I felt inspired by contemplating this further, and more inspired by putting it out there. So that's all this is. So yeah, for me, I think just focusing on, not even focusing, because I don't know, but I have a love-hate relationship with the word focus. I suppose just experience what it is like to just live my life without any expectations, self-imposed expectations that I put on myself. Expectations of me as a mother or as an employee, or as a daughter, those are different. I mean, these self-imposed expectations I feel I have to meet, or else I am a little bit less of a person. I don't know. I'm 41 years old, and I'm kind of just done with that. I don't know. I still have, I still feel like I need to kind of work through this further. But I just absolutely, at this point in time, I do not feel a need to set goals of any kind. And I'm not going to set that expectation on myself that I need to, because if I don't, I'm not, a happy, healthy, productive person, because I just don't feel that that's true. First video of 2023, and it's very rambly. I hope everyone had a at least semi-decent start to the new year, and that you are figuring out kind of what you are feeling and wanting, and what your next step is, or if you're kind of in the perspective that I'm in right now and you just kind of want to see what happens, without any expectation. So, no matter where you're at in your own development, I hope that it's happy, healthy, productive, and fulfilling for you. So, okay, I'm going to go now. Until my next video, take care. Be well.